Hey everyone, Wanderbots here, and welcome back to Kingdoms of Amalur. So let's just watch Sight and company just like shoot people for a while now. That's the boring way to do things.
Not enough damage.
It bothers me that the NPCs are just like largely the ooh, hello. Useless. Oh, whatever, I'll take it anyway. Just like everything else. That's just like, hey, purple ring could be useful. Nope.
Agarth will not be far behind you. Neither of us saw any sign of Aelin Shear or Ventrinio. A scout on the ridge above saw the two Arthur mounting for a counterattack. You should hear what he has to say before we move on. If you'd rather not wait, talk with Agarth. Time is of the essence.
Do we even care about talking to the scout about the counterattack?
Sure. Might help us gain a slight edge. Who knows?
I don't see the scout to talk to.
The House of Vengeance.
Oh, that's not.
There? The person who's arriving?
No mistake.
No, that's just Agarth.
Feel pain.
And Elfar.
Bring pain to those who have betrayed
Yeah, I
us,
don't know where the scout is.
spoiled our land.
I think I might have already done that side quest
Oh, okay.
on the way here. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter that much.
Good to see you here. Ready? I am. But there hasn't been any sign of Aelin Shear or Ventrinio. Damn it all, I knew we couldn't trust her. I sent Ventrinio to keep an eye on her. He was sending me messages until recently. But there were fewer and fewer as we've gotten closer to Baal. We need to get through the House of Vengeance and kill the Cur. And we'll have to do it without them. He's the closest thing Vengeance has to a leader anymore. A face so consumed with hatred that he's little more than a beast. If you're going to get into Baal, the Cur has to die. We'll go as far as we can. Whatever is happening in Baal needs to be stopped as quickly as possible. Listen, you're more powerful than I ever was. If anyone can stop this, it's you. When you kill the Cur, you go into Baal and stop Gadflow. If we get separated, I'll keep fighting to keep an escape route open for you. Now go! Stay on guard.
I hope this is one of those games that after you finish the main plot, it doesn't, like... I don't know.
End to end?
End, and your last save file is, like, more or less useless. I would very much like it if it was just like, oh, you know... you have completed the game, now you can go off and do all those side quests you had never finished.
Some of them wouldn't be pertinent anymore if the Tuatha were killed.
Yeah, but you know what? Who cares? Nope, we're not doing that. Yeah, the NPCs are back there fighting, but who cares?
Crack in the sort of hexagonal fashion.
Oh yeah, these things on the sides here? Yeah, those are really pretty. I like them. Oh, I can't go through the door until I've killed all these people. First world gamer problems.
First world gamer problems?
Yeah, haven't you ever heard of that?
Well, I've heard of first world problems.
It's more or less the same thing. It's like, oh boo-hoo, poor you. I like the jump strike attack. I just wish it went faster.
So, would a first world gamer problem, well, not gamer problem so much as first world problem be, I ran out of soda, and I don't want to drink water.
No,
People
that's
are like-
not a first
people
world
are like-
gamer problem.
Oh, no, I'm saying it's not a gamer problem. It's just, you know, there are people out there that can't even drink water.
See, that's just like a stupid complaint and it's not even funny. First world problems are like, I want to change the channel, but the remote is on the table and this chair is too comfy for me to want to get up.
That's just laziness.
It's pretty much the same thing, but it is I would say that's a first world problem. You know, the kind of thing that's like, just so absolutely meaningless. Like running out of soda. What? Oh, we have to go kill the Cur. Maybe we have to go back and help our NPC buddies.
That'd be interesting.
Apparently these enemies say prepare for a reckoning too.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a troll behind a barricade. Neat. Yeah,
Well,
I think
as long as it's not unleashed on you.
I think I have to go back and help our NPC buddies.
Yeah, usually I wouldn't ditch my allies like you did.
Yeah, they're invincible, largely.
In a lot of games, they aren't.
In this game, they are. See, they're still fighting.
Troll's been causing them some issues.
Yep. Some issues, but like I said, invincible, so not a problem. And honestly, I'm glad that the NPCs are invincible, because it would really suck to be one of those games where...
You have to revive them, and then...
Or even worse, they die, and you
fail.
just flat out lose, yeah. Like, that is the worst kind of game design you can ever really run into, unless it's one of those where it's very, very forgiving.
Well, unless it's one of those where the whole point of you having the allies is to make sure they get out alive.
Yeah, but, like, those missions suck. We didn't generally do a whole lot of those when we were playing Dead Island, but escort quests are the worst. You had to do a lot of escort quest stuff in Dead Rising 2. Mm-hmm. And it was the worst part about that game, and everybody had to be escorted to. And, like, the zombies would just latch onto them, and just bad things would happen.
Well, it typically happens when zombies latch onto anyone.
That just wasn't fun. Okay, so now the door's open yet. They just needed to be here to open it up.
We're nearly there.
I love everybody's just awkward, like...
I still thought it was creepy
Shuffle
when I
run.
was reading about the Walking Dead television show. And you know that character Michonne? I don't know if it's Michonne or Michonne.
I mean, realistically, you know far more about the series than I.
But, so she carries around a katana, and I think these, like, 2 undead behind her. And it turns out that the first one she ever made was her boyfriend.
Well...
Like, after he had died, she tears their arms off and all of the teeth in their upper row, and then the jaw off so that they can't bite anyone. And they just act as pack mules, and I think also a way for her to get by hordes of zombies without them suspecting her of being alive. Because, you know, if there's 2 zombies shambling after you, they wouldn't much notice.
I mean, zombies are stupid, but there's never really much, like, logic. I always liked the Shaun of the Dead variant, where as long as you're, like, shuffling and groaning...
They don't notice.
I don't know.
It's interesting, the levels of zombies in games.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked it how in the Resident Evil games, they were not so much zombies as mutated stuff for some of the more challenging zombie creatures.
Yeah.
And sure, there were a lot of shambling humans, and there were people that you knew that got killed and became zombies. But they were usually just pawns and not actually that threatening. Whereas the ones that had mutated into some sort of beast.
Yeah, like crazy creature or evil thing. Did they ever show, like, what Wesker's actual mutated form, apart from him just regenerating?
I don't know. I've only played the second game on the Nintendo 64. That was Resident Evil 2. I've seen my roommate in college play Resident Evil 4. And we played Dark Side Chronicles together, which sort of recaps the first few games. But in a on-rail shooter style. And I also saw my roommate and her friends play Resident Evil 5.
I have to remember, no, Resident Evil 5 isn't going Games for Windows Live, I think.
Really?
I'm trying to remember which games are. I know Fable is. And I know Bulletstorm is, so those 2 are things to be concerned about. Oh well. Even if they did, Resident Evil 5 wasn't that great of a game.
No, it was odd because it was... I don't know, it was like set in Africa, and it seemed as though a lot of the enemies were going for the whole, like, the voodoo zombies and such. There were a lot of, like, terrorist activity and stuff. There was this busty lady who was some, like, rich heiress or something who I don't know if she was already infected or what, but when you eventually corner her on this ship that she's on, she turns into like a massive wormy thing. And it's like, okay. It was a little bizarre.
But that is kind of, that is just quite simply Resident Evil, if you ask me.
And then you find out that Jill wasn't dead.
Yeah, well,
But she was under control, like they had implanted something in her, and her hair became blonde, even though it was brunette before. What?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to play that game, though. We need more co-op games.
It was interesting, some of the extra outfits you could get for the characters. Though we always joked
Could
that
you get, like, a really
Chris-
silly-looking mascot outfit?
No, more like a all-white, not necessarily pimp suit, but something akin to that. Though the female character, her clothes seemed to just be more revealing things.
As they went along.
And one of them was like a tribal one, because she's African herself.
See, I would love to see a game that is just like, you know, usually the outfits for the women get more and more like skimpy as you go. Actually, speaking of, there kind of. I've been playing Loadout. I think you were watching me play that yesterday.
Yeah, but I thought that was just a beefy guy running around.
Yeah, well, a lot of the clothing options are like mankinis and really, really ridiculous stuff like that. So, you can get like random drops from the daily chest, kind of like in League of Legends, you get the daily bonus for finishing. So from this
that
one,
just gives you IP.
Well, so in this one, it can either give you the equivalent of IP or a random item. Usually cosmetic. I don't know if you can get weapon upgrades. Mm-hmm. So I got a belly shirt for my black dude that I've been playing as. So he has, you know, the upper part of him, but you can see like his hairy belly and
so it's
belly
a
button and
midriff.
stuff. Yeah, it's a midriff shirt. And I think it's the most hilarious thing ever, so I've been running around in that. But realistically, I prefer to get him a suit or something, but I don't want to drop money on the game. And so I'm just going to keep playing it. Hey, it's the Cur.
Look at all the candles. Was he preparing for a romantic rendezvous?
Yep. See, for him, violence is romance. Let's kill everybody first.
Speaking of, it's Valentine's Day.
Yay! Or at least as of recording. When this goes up, it will,
Be long past.
Yep. Because I think we're still running at a... Actually, no, at this point, we're at a 10-episode buffer. But, like, a week ago, we were at a 20-episode buffer, something like that. It's kind of hard to tell how I've got everything set up here. Actually, no, we are at a 20-episode buffer. This is probably episode, like, 90.
Jeez.
Come to think of it, yeah.
Well, now you guys know what we do with our Valentine's Days. More video games.
We never stop. If you notice, this guy is
Well, no,
actually
we should do
injuring
more
me.
Of, like,
Painting and stuff, of course.
artwork and stuff.
Yeah, we do that too. So, I think the Cur is still alive, but he summoned a bunch of Niskaru to mess us up. Oh yeah, there he is.
They still need to explain
Okay,
the
now he's dead.
Niskaru.
I think they're just
If
kind
they're,
of
like,
the
demons from
eponymous
another
demons.
plane, or-
Yeah, because remember how they got, like, mostly sealed away? And stuff? Hey, he dropped an entire armor set for us.
Let's see if it's any good.
No. It's probably Wrath's helm.
Yeah. Not as good.
Nope. I want to see if there's anything else. There's Bogan's Bane. Not bad. Might stuff. It does kind of piss me off that most of the, like, cool skin stuff.
Like, I thought that as the game progressed, you got better gear.
Well, you would, but the thing is they made it so that the crafted gear has complete custom stats, kind of depending on what you want, and you can load them up like crazy. Whereas a lot of the items you find are specifically tailored, especially for a different level, and more often than not, they're just not nearly as strong. So, if I weren't crafting at all, yeah, that set of armor I picked up probably would be a fairly sizable upgrade. But as it stands, not so much so. Also, we probably have enough parts to make the pants. Too bad we're going to beat the game before we can get new pants. Ooh, this is pretty.
This is interesting, yeah.
A lot of dead. Oh, maybe Aelin Shear and Ventrinio have already been through.
Oh, it makes sense. Where's your crew?
Back behind.
Ooh.
Yep. Crystal's coming out and stuff.
At last! My deepest apologies for not being able to join the battle. Ventrinia was something of a hassle.
What happened? What did he do?
She attacked me. It was only a matter of time before his greed got the better of him. The closer we got to Bale, the more obsessed he became with Tianok, and with harnessing Tianok's power, just like Gadflow did. That's why he had to be stopped, and why we need to talk about our mission.
Our mission?
I wasn't sure I could trust you. You're not the same person you used to be. We're running out of time. I'll explain as we go. Lead on. I'm right behind you.
I'll explain as we go is just code for I'll tell you when it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
The winter court was still as fallen snow as the jester danced and capered. Juggling knives and torches, he sang to his lords and ladies, but none smiled. Not an eyebrow raised as the sniveling jester imitated the king, not even when he took the crown from his head. Because this was the day that Gadflow murdered the winter court. This was the day the Tuatha were born, and our people became a sacrifice for Tierna.
Interesting. So it's talking about Gadflow murdering everybody and then dancing around and pretending to be the clown he still was. Yep. Oh wow, I just murdered that guy in one shot. And that guy. Oh, you know what? These guys aren't scaled with level, I bet. That would explain why I'm able to take him out with only a 700 damage swing. I'm not keen on the Niscara.
These guys are still,
yep.
felt though. No, but her killing Ventrinio is a little suspicious.
And she said our mission and, you know, not the same person you used to be. So clearly we belong to the same group of, like, Illuminati-style people. Yeah.
I mean, it was true that Ventrinio was like, oh, Gadflow has so much power. Wait, what about for centuries?
I don't know. She stopped talking about it. She said, you and I carry on a duty that has been there for centuries, and then... Okay, I can review it in the footage and look at the subtitles, at the very least.
Yeah.
So, when I'm editing, I'm gonna need to make a note of that.
I don't know. Centuries? Like, what if you were playing a human character? It wouldn't make sense. Unless they're just talking about the order that they're a part of, having done what they've done for centuries. Okay.
Sorry about the random intermission. I just need to write down on my handy-dandy little notepad over here to actually, like, embiggen the subtitles so you guys can see them. I don't think I'll read them out loud just because it would be kind of awkward to do a voiceover right there on top of what we already have.
Yeah, thanks, Aelin, for just standing there.
I think she's supposed to be trying to talk to us, maybe. Okay.
This is no time to dawdle.
Damn it.
You're the one who stepped forward to stop Gadflow and the source of his power, even though fate said you were doomed to fail. This time, fate cannot control you, but I expect you to succeed. Ventrinia was right. Tiernak is no god. She has almost as much power, and is every bit as dangerous to the world as any dark god. Her powers raised Gadflow from a jester to a warlord, and in return, his army would usher in a chance for her to enter this world and consume it.
I like the little grasses things behind her.
Yeah. They're the ones that twirl a little.
Actually, really, I just like this area with the floating spikes and the spikes coming out of everything. Like, this is the first time the environment's actually been unique and dynamic. So I'm just going to explode these guys until they're dead.
I like those rocks that are spinning in midair.
Yeah, that's cool. Very Outlandsy. You know?
When Gadflow's army arose, We recognize Tiernok's tainted influence. Only a force like her could warp eternal creatures like the Fae.
I really hate... Wow, did I just murder them all with one blow?
If you couldn't stop Tiernok, she would use her pawns to fully escape her prison. And the world would be her new plaything. You had to try. Even though the Fate Weavers said you were doomed. As always, the Fate Weavers were right.
So I guess we belonged to some kind of like secret order of heroes, maybe? And we got our face handed to us. So I guess we went past a Balestone. Oh well.
Since the Alabaster Wall was young, the beautiful bone-white forest was a place of peace and meditation. No piercing birdsong nor heated word could find its way between the branches. Quiet thought prevailed until Gadflow shattered our land. The Tuatha's crimson axes chopped the forest for arrow shafts, and Tiernok's Prismere spires rose up to consume what remained. Now our forest is shattered, and screams of warfare fill its boughs.
I really hate that the fates of these like stones are the quietest thing in the game.
Hey, look, there's a stone to the left and to the right.
I know. It's just a pain in the ass, because it's like, for her talking there, it was largely meaningless, just talking about, like, before Gadflow, everything was nice and quiet, and then he made things loud and broke shit with axes. It's like, okay. I don't know. I really wish that the lore was contained in, like, a written thing, or if, like, it would pop up with an inscription that you could read, instead of having to rely on really quiet exposition and really terrible subtitles. You know?
Yeah, the subtitles go too fast for the dialogue sometimes.
Or vice versa. And there's a lot of, like, empty space where it's just like, we didn't really bother to match up our subtitles. We just think this is where it transitions. Thanks.
Okay, let's see. I like the swirly swirls. But actually...
He named it Prismere. It grows far beneath the Amethyst. It pierces the world, and the blood that flows from these wounds feeds Gadflow's hungry mind. These crystals, this Prismere, whispered to him promises of power, of godhood. It corrupted his nature. The seeds of a blizzard sprouted in the form of a beautiful crystal. It was a gift from her, ere we knew our doom was at hand.
That looks like Tali's patterns from Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah, it does. It's pretty. I like the swirlies in the stone on the ground, too. I think we read these in wrong order.
The greatest heroes of winter have always fallen from the Vale's pale boughs, from Pietra the Keen to Hulgan the Hungry. When the Tuatha claimed dominance over us, heroes arose to defend winter. Gadflow laughed at their challenge and called up Tiernok's wrath. In a second, our most loyal heroes were impaled by Prismere spires. Our heroes were gone, never to be reborn, and our people succumbed to Gadflow's madness.
Okay, so more or less
The Prismere
just...
prevents them from being reborn.
Yeah, the Prismere seems to mess with their fate. I feel like it's just lore time. Oh.
Well, also, the Prismere just seems to, like, have a bunch of magic. And people keep saying that the Fae are just magic given form. So
That's
it's
true.
possible that it just absorbs them and it's like, yum, yum, yum.
Oh, since there's so many of these guys, these are, like, weaker.
When I saw you could change fate, I knew you were our only choice. So I helped you continue your mission to stop Tiernok, even if you had forgotten it. But over time, I realized you weren't the same woman you were when you died. You were more. You were better than the heartless commander I had known.
So I was some kind of, like, leader, I guess.
In happier times, the winter court would come here to bathe in the colors of the midnight gardens. Night violets and pale moonflowers blossomed on a field of bluest grass studded with frost. When stars aligned, the aurora borealis danced for the queen herself. But now the Tuatha have crushed the gardens and planted only corpses. The fruit of their tortured garden is only...
I really hate these fate stones. They actually skipped a line with the subtitling. And the moment you get into combat, it's just like, oh yeah, you were listening to a thing. Well, how about hacking and slashing and the same horn music you've been listening to this entire freaking game?
I like listening to the music of this realm. Like, this actually reminds me of, I mean, a much rockier version of the Night Elf Forest.
Yeah.
All the blues and the greens.
No, it's very nice, and I'm very glad everything isn't just...
You came here. You were destined to die. This time, your destiny is up to you.
Yeah, I guess it's just one of those of, like... Well, I'm glad everything isn't blue shifted, that everything is unique here. I really do wish they had some more interesting monsters than just some more Prismeer trolls and Tuatha, but whatever. I guess I'm kind of used to it at this point.
Oof.
I guess it's just largely because...
This must have been a lot for you to take in at once. But I need you to be clear on who you are and what you need to do. A lot has changed since you were here last. It isn't going to be as easy this time. And last time it killed you. Oh, she's a creature with incredible power. A dragon. But she is no simple lizard in some child's tale. She has a power rivaled only by the gods. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Alpha sealed her in the Amathen between this world and the world of magic. And there she went mad. As her prison weakened over time, she was able to tempt Gadflow into helping her gain enough power to break free. And if she escapes fully, it will mean the end of all mortal life. Tiernok's revenge for tens of thousands of years of imprisonment. That's why people like you and I have dedicated our lives to keeping Tiernok secret from the world.
How is it that in every game it seems... Well, I mean, fantasy game, there's always some sort of dragon behind things.
The dragon is the enemy?
Well, because it's sort of like how in Guild Wars 2 it's like, oh, the dragons. They're the ones that are corrupting the world and eating
and we're
everyone.
behind everything in the first game too. Yeah, a little tacky.
And then in, I mean, I suppose in World of Warcraft they have their whole, the different dragon flights and Alexstrasza and...
Yeah, but it switches
Dormammu
between villains there, and more often than not it's the Titans that are behind everything that went wrong.
I don't even know what a Titan looks like. Ugh. And then, oh, what else that we were looking at lately? In the upcoming EverQuest games, there was a war with the dragons. And I think the dragons are still a main enemy.
We were supposed to keep Tiernok hidden from the world. Anyone who learned too much had to die. But when Gadflow found her, you were the one who volunteered to kill him and seal Tiernok away once more, even though you were fated to fail. It took every trick we had to get you here the first time, and you still died. I don't know if you plan to be resurrected, but knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone who knows the truth of Tiernok will be dead, and Tiernok will be sealed away once again. We can return to our duty of keeping the knowledge secret, assuming that's the life you want to return to. But if you refuse, then I'd have to make sure you never tell the truth about Tiernok. Of course, I'd rather it didn't come to that. But you would have done the same.
What? You're threatening to kill me?
You seem to like me.
I don't...
I have more important things to do than love. And so do you.
What?
But I do trust you with the fate of my world. It may not set your heart aflutter to hear it, but it'll have to do. Lead on.
What in the world? Did you actually ask her if she had a crush on you?
I mean, look at it. Look at that outfit. She's trying to impress us.
No.
All right.
Carl, you're just using that typical male, like, you can't possibly be in the same boat of people where it's like, oh, she's wearing scanty clothing, you know, clearly she's flaunting herself for guys like us, erg.
No. But you do have to admit, her outfit is ridiculous.
What were the other options you could have said? Like the fact
I think
that
one was like a hostile option and the other was just kind of like a bland option. I just wanted to see if I could succeed at the persuasion check. Speaking of, we're poisoned and or cursed again, so I should go get that taken care of before we go fight the final boss. So,
But what does the poison do to you?
I don't know. We will see you guys on the next episode of Kingdoms of Amalur, and maybe I'll find out what that poison does. Because there's no descriptor. I'd actually have to like go through a menu to find out, which is kind of stupid.